We are live on Original FC back in the cut. And it's been confirmed that Bruno Fernandes has signed the contract extension with Manchester United through to the 2027 season with an option to extend for one more year till the 2028 season. My thoughts, honestly, I'm devastated. I'm devastated. Bruno Fernandes, for me, I know there's a large portion of the fan base that loves Bruno Fernandes. Honestly speaking, I've never really seen it with Fernandes. You know, his first season at United was top. Well, I mean, his first season at United was his best season for sure. I feel like for the last 2 years, maybe even 3, but definitely for the last 2 seasons, he's been in decline. Last season, he was not great at all. Yeah, he had towards the end of the season, the last month of the season, he picked up his performances, played well in the FA Cup final. But for the most part, Bruno Fernandes has been in decline. Bruno Fernandes, for me, is the type of midfielder that I've just never liked. For all the creative stats that are out there about Bruno Fernandes, all the chance creation stats and whatnot, last season, we saw that Bruno Fernandes created the most chances in the league by far. That's what the stats said on paper, right? But when you're watching United games, you're always thinking, why do we never get chances? Why do our strikers never get chances? That's what we were saying last season. Bruh, our strikers have a graveyard shift, man, because they never get chances. So where are these chances coming from? That's what I'm saying. These stats be fugazi, man. All these chance created stats be fugazi. Because when you actually look at it, we don't create chances. Bruno Fernandes is not the chance creation machine that people make him out to be. He isn't. People make him out to be like he's Kevin De Bruyne. He's not Kevin De Bruyne. He's not. And for me, my biggest issues with Fernandes is not even necessarily chance creation, because he can create chances. I'm not going to say he can't create chances. He can. I'm not going to say he's a bad passer. He's a good passer. But he's not a great passer of the ball. He lacks variation in his passing. Yeah, he has some vision. But he isn't as talented and as gifted as people make him out to be. For me, he is somebody that always hides in the midfield. He hides in the midfield, and when the midfield battle gets tough, you'll see him going out to the wing to spam crosses, right? Again, with the chance creation thing, set pieces have a lot to do with that. So if you're taking corners, if you're taking free kicks, they're going to boost your chance creation stats. It doesn't mean that you create high quality chances. Because last season, I didn't see Bruno Fernandes create high quality chances. In fact, last season, I saw Bruno Fernandes get dominated in midfield almost every game by relegation for the teams, by mid-table teams. Didn't matter who. And I'm not going to say that our midfield collapse last season was purely down to Bruno Fernandes, but Bruno Fernandes was a big part of the reason why our midfield was shocking last season. He is. For me, technically, he's not good enough. Doesn't have the greatest touch. Can't dribble. Can't really move. He's got an engine to run about the pitch, right? But he lacks athletically. He gets bullied athletically. And for me, he treats the ball like a ticking time bomb. I don't like my midfielders, especially my creative midfielders, treating the ball like a bum. How are you a creative midfielder and you don't like the ball? The minute you get the ball, you hoof it. It's hoof central. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan. And I know people disagree with me, but I don't care. Bruno Fernandes has held us back in a lot of ways. Building the team around guys like Bruno and Rashford is the reason why we've struggled so much. It's the reason why we haven't been able to elevate. Because you're building a team around 2 players who technically don't cut it, who technically can't cut it. And again, I'm not putting all our failures down to Bruno and Rashford, because I think majority of the team's not good enough. Last season, I think majority of our team was just not good enough. But when you build the team, when you've built the team for years around the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, who are players who can't hold the ball up, who technically aren't good enough, and whose decision making is not the greatest. I mean, you're bound to fail. You're bound to fail. And now you're putting Bruno Fernandes, who's 30 now? 30, well, he's turning 30 or 31. I think he's turning 30. He might be turning 31, I'm not even sure. You're putting him now on 300 bags a week. I'm assuming it's 300 a week because that's what he wanted, to be the highest paid alongside Rashford. He was on 250, so I assume he's probably been bumped up to 300. You're now putting him on 300 bags a week, right? He's here for life now. You can't move him. You can't move him. And I'm not with it, man. I can't stand it. Honestly, I can't stand it. I get it from a United standpoint of view. I get it from a United view, from a United standpoint. You know, if they always intended to keep Bruno Fernandes, then it makes sense that they gave him the contract at this time, because you couldn't let him go into the new season with no new contract. You couldn't let him do that, because essentially you're telling him that he's available for sale next summer. That's what you're saying, right? So I get it from a United standpoint that, you know, if they always intend to keep Bruno, then it made sense to sign him up to a new deal this summer, right? Me personally, should have never given him the contract. I think it would have been perfect to move him on next summer. I think it would have been perfect. I think we need to let go of the United of old, man. We need to let go of the United of old. We need to, you know, we've gotten rid of Martial. We've gotten rid of Pogba. Right? Two players who, for me, are far, far, far better than the likes of Bruno and Rashford and a lot of the other players we've had. But we let go of them, and it was the right move to let them go. It was the right move to let them go. I'm not going to sit here and say we should have kept him, no, because Martial couldn't stay on the pitch. Pogba, it just got to a point where it was just best for both parties to move on. So I agreed with those moves, letting Pogba go, letting Martial go. But I also believe it's time to let the likes of Bruno and Rashford go. We can't keep being held hostage by these guys on massive wages who just don't produce. They just don't produce. They just do not produce. Time after time after time, we have underwhelming seasons, underwhelming production from these guys. And yet we laud them like they're some of the best in the league. They're not. They're not. And then you'll have United fans throughout the season complaining, oh, why are we not good enough? Oh, we have such a low technical flaw in this team. We don't have guys that can really play football. Well, you're signing these guys to big contracts and making them a part of United's future when they shouldn't be. They just shouldn't be. I think it would have been perfect to let Bruno go into this year without a new contract and sell him on next summer. I think it would have been perfect. I think we could have raised some funds with some much needed funds with Bruno, and we could have invested that into the team to make us a far better team overall. But that won't be the case now. Bruno Fernandes will be here for the foreseeable future. It is where it is. It's ruined my day, that contract news, honestly, because I just don't think he's good enough. He hasn't been good enough for a long time. But hey, what can you do? With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Unoriginal FC, over and out.